What's up, family? It's your boy Dwayne Howard, aka The Heart of David. Now let's go to war. As you can see, my shirt, it says, pay yourself first and then pay your taxes. What this means is that people that are business owners, they actually make their money, pay their life's expenses, and then they pay taxes on whatever they have left. But W-2 workers, they make their money, they pay their taxes, and then they're forced to live off of what is left. And the IRS says it's the taxpayer's obligation to lower their own taxes. But today, we're gonna touch on a few principles on how to build wealth. So let's go! The first thing that I want to talk about when it comes to building wealth is shifting your mindset. How many of you know that wealth is conceptualized in the mind before it is ever manifested in the physical realm? What we have to understand is that building wealth is a learned behavior. We must unlearn a lot of the things that we were taught and relearn new things in order to become wealthy. You see, they say insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again, but expecting different results. Obviously, it's time to make a transition within your mind. So we're gonna try things differently now. Our school system is designed to create employees that are in debt. So before seeds of ownership and wealth is planted into our minds, school plants seeds of submission and limited thinking. Don't get me wrong, the education system is a great foundational structure, but it is only for a purpose. It caps your mind because it is a generalized system. And it's a system that is used for over millions of people who are completely different in their own right. The same curriculum for millions of people, of course that's gonna cap your learning. But in order to be wealthy, you have to think outside of our box. How many of you know that 1% of the world's population owns over 50% of the world's wealth? And 50% of the world's population owns 1% of the world's wealth. That means 50% of people owns less than $10,000. How is that? What is happening? We have to grasp this concept right here, right now. That in order to become wealthy, you have to stop thinking like the 99% and start to think like the 1%. And that is going to be a shifting of your mindset. It may be very, very easy to revert back to what is familiar, but if you want to become wealthy, you can't think the same way you thought before. You have to transition and think as the 1% do. And my shirt illustrates that. The 1% thinks exactly like this, that they will pay themselves before they pay the government. Not saying anything is wrong with paying the government because our taxes go to great things, but if you want to be wealthy, you have to understand that you are a priority as well. One thing that I learned that is very, very important, my mother used to always say to me, show me your company and I will tell you who you are. Reason being is because if you hang around 4 broke people, chances are you'll be the 5th one. But if you hang around 4 wealthy people, chances are you got it. You thought about it right. You'll be the 5th one. Number 2, let's move over to my most favorite one. If you want to become wealthy, you have to seek knowledge. I spent countless dollars of student loans on my college education that put me in debt and didn't really give me the opportunity to earn back the amount of money that I put out because of the interest added on top of these loans that we'll probably be paying for the rest of our lives. But I can't buy a book or a course that may change the trajectory of my life and may give me a skill that will allow for me to make money instantaneously. You got to seek knowledge. You see, seeking knowledge is very important because it makes you an army Swiss knife. You are now able to maneuver in different arenas, and that is invaluable. Some of the books that I read that changed my life is Think and Grow Rich, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, The 4 Agreements, The Power of Habits, and one of my most favorite books, the Bible. If you want to become wealthy, you have to learn how to become wealthy. You have to seek the knowledge so that you can take it and implement it into your life. There's a quote that I heard from Mike Tyson, and I'm sure it didn't originate from him, but he said the reason he reads is because the people that don't know is at the mercy of the people that do know. So that drives him to seek knowledge. Now that brings me to my next point, and that is investing in different streams of income. Ecclesiastes 11, verses 1 through 6. It states, "Ship your grain across the sea. After many days you may receive a return. Invest in 7 ventures, yes, in 8. You do not know what disaster may come upon the land. If clouds are full of water, they pour rain on the earth. Whether a tree falls to the south or to the north, in the place where it falls, there it will lie. Whoever watches the wind will not plant. Whoever looks at the clouds will not reap. As you do not know the path of the wind or how the body is formed in a mother's womb, so you cannot understand the work of God, the maker of all things. Sow your seed in the morning, and at evening let your hands not be idle, for you don't know which will succeed, whether this or that, or whether both will do equally well." Wow, what a wonderful scripture. And not only is it powerful to have different streams of income, but not to worry which way the wind is blowing, but to invest in different things so that you can diversify your risk. The average millionaire has 7 streams of income. When I was reading Rich Dad Poor Dad, it was a powerful quote in there where he said, "Do not work for money, let money work for you." What's a good job in the United States of America? I think I would say $100,000 a year. $100,000 over the course of 20 years is $2 million minus taxes, $1.4 million. You cannot become wealthy by trading your time for money. You cannot become wealthy by punching a clock. You have to trade your money for money. Your money has to make more money for you. Your money does not punch a clock. Your money can work 24 hours throughout the day. And this is how the 1% thinks. So having a job is okay. I will never talk down on a job, but you got to use your money to invest in different ventures. Let's move on. One of my favorites, using your gifts. Your gift will make room for you and put you amongst kings. Your gift can put you in front of very, very powerful people. Now, what is your gift? Your gift is what you do the best with the least amount of effort. It was given to you, which is why we call it a gift. Integrating your gift into whatever venture you do increases the quality, and it also increases the value of that venture. Guys, there is no cap on your gifting. This is why a wonderful singer like Beyonce can make the amount of money in 30 minutes that a worker would make in 2 years. This is because your gifting is limitless. There is no cap on what your gifting could do. With your gift, you are not trading time for money. You are trading skills, value, and impact for money. This is why, while using your gifting, you can make $10,000 in 30 minutes. That's because when you use your gift, it now becomes limitless. And most people that are wealthy, they use their gifting. The last thing that I want to touch on is that your belief must be accompanied by work. Faith without work is dead. You cannot sit on your rear end and expect for things to happen and for things to move. The God that we serve is an action God. He requires an action. He does not intervene in manly affairs. He uses you and I to do it. This is why before he parted the Red Sea, he required Moses to make an action. Before the walls of Jericho fell, he required the children of Israel to do an action. We have to give God a platform to move. We have to give him something to work with. He is not working for you, but he is working with you. So your faith must be accompanied by your work in order to obtain wealth. You can learn all of these principles, but unless you put the principles into action, wealth will never be manifested into your physical daily lives. So the advice that I want to give you is to just get started. You will never know what the outcome can be unless you get started. Failure is not failure unless you stop, or unless you quit, or unless you make the decision not to do it at all. So with these few things, I think you guys will be well on your way to accumulating wealth and even understanding what you have to do to get to where you need to be. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in with me. I love you guys so much. Thank you guys for making this possible. And remember, a positive word becomes a verb because the body listens to what the spirit heard. So peace be to the God.